Welcome to this week's Rogers McHugh YouTube video. In this week's episode, I'm going to tell you 3 lessons that I've learned that you should be doing in your 20s. Let's go! Welcome to this week's Rogers McHugh YouTube video. In this week's episode, it's not exactly recruitment based this week, but unfortunately, I am clinging on to the final few months of my 30s, and in the not too distant future, my age will start with the number 4. So I thought it was a good time to reflect and just look back and give you a little bit of worldly advice, if you like, on things that I think you should be doing in your 20s. The first thing that I think you should be doing, and probably goes against some advice, is spend more. You're not going to make the majority of your wealth in your 20s. You're not going to set yourself up for life in your 20s in the main, unless you're Mark Zuckerberg. However, what you can do is you can experience life, you can experience things, you can go to new places, you can see the world. There's a lot of things that you can do in your 20s that as you progress in your career, as you have a family, it obviously becomes a little bit more difficult to do. So enjoy yourself. You're at the peak of your disposable income powers in your 20s. Before you start getting serious dependence and things that drain your cash, like a mortgage and a car and a family. So absolutely enjoy your life, go and spend your money and live for the day, because it's difficult to do that as you get a little bit older. Go and explore, go and experience things that you've not experienced that you want to, and make sure that by the time you hit your 30s, you've done all of that and you've experienced life. Advice number 2, for me, quit more. We aren't in a world anymore, in my opinion, where people have one job throughout the career. And they go to work somewhere and they stay there forever, they never leave, and that's them set for life. We're in a much more transient world these days. Find what you're passionate about. Find what drives you to get out of bed in the morning and follow that. And if you're doing something that doesn't do that, quit, move on, look for something else. Definitely quit more. If you're halfway through university and you're not enjoying it, don't stay there for another 2 years just to get a degree. Nobody cares. If you're in a job that you think is the right job for you but you're not enjoying, go and find a job that you do enjoy. You work for long enough in your life, and invariably, and I say this to my children all the time, if you enjoy what you're doing, you will be significantly better at it than if you don't enjoy it. If you don't enjoy what you're doing, you'll go through the motions, you'll never be the best version of yourself that you can be, and you won't, and you'll end up resenting what you're doing. So quit more. Do what you want, follow your heart, and go and find that job that really speaks to you, that really you're passionate about, and go and focus on trying to find that in your 20s while you can. Because again, once you get into your 30s, your 40s, jumping around from job to job is significantly more difficult. By the time you enter your 30s, you need to know what that plan looks like and be ready to put it into practice. And piece of advice number 3, embrace failure. We live in a world these days where on Instagram, everybody lives the perfect life. The children are perfect. The house is perfect, never dirty. The car's never unclean. They've got a fantastic car. They live a perfect life. Nobody lives that life. Everybody has failures. And one thing that I always say is it's not about your failure that defines you as an individual. It's how you bounce back from that. So if you start a business and it fails, that doesn't define you if you've done everything correctly and everything that you can. What does define you is what you learn from that experience and what you take forward into the rest of your life. In recruitment, so let's bring it back to recruitment, there's going to be loads of times that you fail. You'll have months where you blank. You'll have sales calls that go wrong. You'll have interview processes that don't work out. You'll have jobs that you get that you don't fill. You'll have clients that you win and then annoy to the point where they won't work with you again. All these failures happen in life. It's not necessarily about the failure that's the issue. If you keep repeating the same failure, that's the issue. If you learn from it, if you improve, if you make yourself better, that is absolutely the right thing to do and what will propel you through life. At the end of the day, I always say, and I am an advocate for this, so it may be a little bit contradictory, but I always say learn, read books, listen to podcasts, learn from other people's failures, and that is true, and I stand by that. If you can learn from somebody else's mistakes, if somebody else goes bankrupt and you learn from them not to do that, then that's obviously better than you going bankrupt and learning from that process. However, in life you are going to fail. It isn't a perfect linear line. There's going to be ups and downs, there's going to be challenges, and there's going to be things that you don't know about that do come and slap you in the face, and there are going to be failures throughout your life, throughout your career, throughout your personal life. Like I say, it isn't about the failure, it's about how you bounce back, how you react, and what learnings you take from that. So embrace failure. See it as a success. Yes, brilliant, I failed, that didn't work, I know why it didn't work, I'm not going to do that again in the future, I'm moving on from that. And if you do that, then let's be fair, by the time you get into your 30s, you'll have seen the world, you'll have experienced some fantastic things, you'll know what career path you're taking, and you'll have failed a lot, and you won't be failing heading into your 30s, and you'll set yourself up then for a brilliant career, to earn a lot of money, to really set your life up. So, a little bit of a shorter one this week, but quite an important one. Like I say, as I head into my 40s, I wanted to try and share some of my worldly wisdom with you, and I'm sure there's things that I've missed. So if there's anything that you think I've missed that you think should be added to that list, stick it in the comments below. But most importantly, subscribe to the channel. I'll love you forever, and I'll see you on the next video.